This week on Supercars Talk, we've got more driver movements, a new calendar, and I've had a tooth extracted. The big news this week is that Cooper Murray has a nice new look for the remaining 2 rounds of the season. Total Energies will be backing his Erebus car for the final 2 rounds. Good to see an international kind of company on the car. Funnily enough, I saw that and I'm like, wow, who the hell are these guys? And then I was actually watching another YouTube video on some sports car racing and saw the banners on the side of the track there, and went, oh, well, obviously they are a pretty big deal. A little bit disappointed with the look. It looks a bit basic and kind of like a BJR car. Erebus usually do a better job. Having said that, BJR cars usually look pretty good, but to me it looked like maybe it was a Heimgartner look rather than a typical Erebus look. The other big news this week is I just had a tooth extracted today, so if I sound a little bit off, it's because I've got a big hole in my mouth. Anyway, haven't had much sleep the last couple of days because I've been in a lot of pain. So, actual big news this week. Where do we start? I struggled to find some Will Davison models. I would have thought, genuinely, Will Davison has been, I've followed him all the way through, and he's been, not my favourite driver, but I've definitely liked him throughout the years, and I'll have 3 models of his, and one of them is really, it's Cam Waters model, which is the only one I had out of the box. So the other 2 were Bathurst winners. Because of the pain, I haven't bothered to get them out. But anyway, the big news, we had the announcement that Will Davison would be out of DJR at the end of the year, and then Rylan Grey will be his replacement. The other thing, it's expected that Brodie will take over the number 17 nameplate number on the car, and then Ryland will get his own number, whether that is 38 or whether they kind of go with something different. Yet to be seen. Obviously, there is a lot of expectation having that 17, and that's why they wanted Davison to have it more than Anton when they both joined the team. But it's one of those things. Davison's results haven't been great this year. There's been some highlights, but a lot of lowlights as well, and it's probably been trending in the wrong direction. While Brodie has been kind of getting stronger, it seemed that Davison has been going backwards a little bit. Obviously, the pressure of everything probably hasn't done him any good. There has been a lot of talk that, last year DJR did have the option on Kai Allen that they didn't take up. They let him go to keep Davison in the team. And a lot of people, myself at the time even, this is a mistake. They should have Kai Allen there. And it's just been proved true this year. So I think now DJR have probably made a bit of a snap decision to, get probably is he the best prospect, or is he the best prospect at Tickford at the moment? That'll be one thing to debate, and we probably won't have any proper answers until next year. There wasn't a standout in the wild card that Tickford ran this year, really. Not saying Ryland's not up to the job, but would they have been better off with someone like Jackson Walls, whose father's a billionaire rather than just a millionaire? Anyway, whether this is the right decision, we will find out by the end of next year. My disappointment, I think, in it is the way Davo will be out of DJR. I would have thought this is a perfect opportunity. Watching, I think Team 18 made a big mistake getting rid of Frosty at the end of last year, rather than giving him an ambassador kind of role. playing that team role. You've still got him in front of the sponsors and that. If it was me, now I'm not sure if this happened and Davo has knocked them back and things like that, but I would have been doing everything I could to keep Davo within the team as an endurance co-driver. I mean, imagine if you had Hazelwood and Will Davison as your endurance co-drivers, plus you've also got that backstop then, Davo to help Rylan next year, all of that kind of stuff. Plus you've got him that you can put in front of the sponsors and that. He does an extremely good job with all of that kind of stuff. But anyway, that's where it is. Where is he going to end up in a co-driver role? Will we see him back? I mean, could we see him back at Tickford? Walkinshaws are looking for a co-driver. You know, the people will be someone like Nick Percat is probably cursing that now Will Davison is available because, yeah, it's Will Davison. He's done an outstanding job over many years. He's probably put himself now to the top of the co-driver list. Now, that wasn't the only driver swap during this week. Obviously, we did know that Richie Stanaway wouldn't be returning with PremiAir next year, but he's been dismissed immediately. And then the first question was, which of the new drivers will be the one taking the reins for the final 2 rounds of the year? I thought they might have done, you know, one each round, like Ojeda at Sandown, Fraser at Adelaide, but it will be Jayden Ojeda for the final 2 rounds. Great for Jayden Ojeda. We will see, and it'll be a good kickstart into next year for him. But disappointing for Richie. He doesn't, you know, kind of get to have a bit of a goodbye. You know, at least Will Davison, it is only 2 rounds, but he gets to have a bit of a goodbye in those final 2 rounds as a full-time driver. Once again, like the Rylan Grey situation, will be interesting to see whether this is an improvement. My thought is that Ojeda is going to do a very good job at that team next year. The other seat is still up for question. But then also I rate James Golding really highly. So yeah, whether it's a big improvement or not, time will tell. The other big movement this week is David Couchy will not be with Grove Racing from the end of the year. He's been running the team for the last few years since he left Triple Eight. That was a bit of a blow to Triple Eight. They weren't very kind about him leaving. Not very kind about most people leaving. They, seems to be a thing. But yeah, he's done great things there at Groves. My first thought was, when will he start at PremiAir Racing? But a lot of people have mentioned that there is a new role within Supercars, that it's probably a job for someone like him. And he had giving clues away that he would be joining the series rather than joining another team. Not exactly in his place, but the Groves have signed what will be an ex-Ferrari engineer, Ferrari the Formula One team, Riccardo Corte. I hope I've pronounced that correctly. He's been with Ferrari for 11 years. He'll be joining the Groves to engineer Kai Allen, which will then see Al McVeigh, who has been engineering Kai this year. He moves to head of performance, whatever that means. That's probably a bit of internal shuffling with Couchy moving on. I think they might have known about this for a while with some of these moves, and I expect we'll probably see Brenton Grove moving more into a management role with that team, where they have been very standoffish and let the team kind of run itself. I think they're probably now going to, Brenton, the son of Stephen, who is the main owner. I think he will move into that kind of team manager role. And the last little bit of news for this week before we get into the calendar, Super 2 driver Max Gagan, who has been with Image Racing this year, will be switching over to Kelly Racing for the final round of the season at Adelaide. The Image Racing has been call a spade, they've been very disappointing this year, considering they had two guys, I think they were both in the, Jared Hughes and Job Stewart were in the top 5 of the championship last year. And this year, I don't think they've added Max Gagan, and I don't think any of them are even in the top 10 of the championship this year. We saw what both of them did in the endurance races. So there's not a lack of talent there. Something wrong with the equipment. So Max will be stepping into the Mason Kelly's car for the remaining round of the year. And whether that's a precursor to what happens next year or whether it's just a one-off thing, that remains to be seen. We got to see the calendar for next year this week. The big thing, we're at 14 rounds. Hallelujah. Common sense has prevailed. And we've added the extra New Zealand round rather than losing, which at one point it did look like it was potentially going to drop back to 12 rounds next year. So dropping kind of 2 Australian rounds where we've added on to have some growth. Which then I still reckon we probably don't need much more, but maybe 2 more rounds for the year and compact it a little bit. It is a very stretched out season. We'll be kicking off in Sydney on the 20th to 22nd of February. And then as I scroll down here, the Adelaide will be on the first weekend of December. So it is a very stretched out calendar. It runs very similar to this year's with the Sprint Cup, Enduro Cup, and then the finals. The Enduro Cup just being the Bend and Bathurst, and then the final system the same. We kick off with the Sydney 500, then go to the Grand Prix. Then we got the back-to-back in New Zealand, which that will be absolutely amazing, but we do have a big gap between the Grand Prix and the first New Zealand round, and then a big gap between the second New Zealand round and going to Tasmania. Then we've got Darwin, Townsville, Perth, and back to Ipswich or Queensland Raceway. Then into the Enduro Cup, which is the same, as I said, and the finals series that's the same. As I said, big thing there that we have got an extra round, because that was a little bit of a worry that they were going to drop it back. For fans who don't want to pay for Foxtel or Kayo or anything, unfortunately for you guys, the only live events on Channel 7 will be the opening round in Sydney, which there will be a race on the Friday again by the looks, which will not be on free-to-air TV. You'll only get the Saturday and Sunday. Townsville, Bathurst, Gold Coast, and then Adelaide. So it's very kind of stretched out year for the live free-to-air ones. Super 2 calendar was announced as well. They'll be kicking off at Sydney Motorsport Park in February, then nothing till June when they hit Hidden Valley for the first time. Then they'll be going to Perth. So lots of travelling for those guys. Bathurst, Sandown, and then Adelaide. So quite a compact end of the year for them. I'd probably, if it was me, I'd maybe even like drop Sydney and maybe put in Queensland Raceway as like their third round and just compact the season a little bit. I think that you're going to far-flung kind of circuits and that, but I'd just the gaps between, like you even talk to the drivers and it just seems like a massive gap. But then we have some massive gaps in our calendar. As I said, I'd love to see maybe, Super 2 have a couple of standalone rounds and then chuck kind of that in between kind of the Grand Prix and the New Zealand rounds, and then maybe have the second one between the second New Zealand round and Tasmania, just so you've got a bit more content in there. But we're down this at the moment and we've only got 6 Super 2 rounds, but at least we've got a calendar. It is, without trying to look at the negatives of it, it is positive that we have got more races next year. Obviously there is still some work to be done, which hopefully they will work on as we move forward. But anyway, down in the comments, let me know what you think of the calendar. is Rylan Grey the right person to, replace Will Davison? And what do you reckon of getting teeth ripped out? Man, the pain went away as soon as it popped out of the mouth. It was unbelievable. Until next time, I'm still Dave, and I'll catch you later.